Everybody, we're going to begin our council day today. And Madam Clerk, if you could take roll, please.
Councilmember Baines. Councilmember Brand. Councilmember Brandau.
Here.
Councilmember Capriolio. Here. Councilmember Olivier. Here. Councilmember Quintero. And Councilmember Zhang.
All right. We're going to start our morning with an invocation from Imam Syed Ghazvini from the Islamic Cultural Center of Fresno. Imam, would you please approach the microphone, and let's all stand, and after the Imam prays, then we will salute the flag.
Good morning and peace be with you. Almighty God, thank you for your countless gifts and bounties. We express our gratitude for your grace and blessings. We ask you, God, to help us to act with compassion and love. Help us listen with patience and care to those in suffering. Almighty God, help us speak with wisdom and charity. Give us a spirit of tolerance and mindfulness. Enable us to treat all people, no matter how different they are, with dignity and integrity. Almighty God, send your blessings and wisdom on our mayor, members of this council, and all city employees. Increase their spirit of justice, compassion, and leadership, so they serve in their office to promote the well-being of the citizens of this great city. We need your help, God, to overcome the troubles of the drought and find solutions for the homeless and the jobless. Also help us offer immigrants a status appropriate to their hard work and dignity and integrity. Almighty God, grant our city and its residents peace, security, justice, and prosperity. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Thank you, Imam. Today we have a couple of ceremonial presentations, and the first one is a proclamation of Joe Cornell Day, and that's from Office Member Olivier.
Okay, I am going to present this proclamation jointly with Councilmember Capriolio from the 4th District. If we can get Joe to come over here. And then, I'm sorry, tell me your name one more time.
K.O. Lovelace.
All right, from Salvation Army. Okay, perfect. Well, the thing, I just had the privilege of meeting Joe Cornell. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why I just loved being a journalist so much, because you get to meet people like this. You get to meet people that are having the worst day of their lives and see how they're reacting to that. And you get to meet people who are having the best day of their lives and see how they react to that. Well, Joe Cornell, he did something that made national news. The Brinks truck was driving away, and it dumped a bag of money. And this wasn't like $1,400 or $5,100. This thing dumped, what, $127,000 out on the street. Right where? Right up here on Ventura. And Joe is someone who has fought very hard to overcome challenges in his life. And that fight continues for him every day. But when he found this, and I'm going to let him tell you because it's better than hearing it from me, but ultimately Joe turned it in. And it's one of those things, and we were talking about it before, in television news, you say, oh, that's a talker. Guy finds a big sack of money with $100,000 in it. That's a talker because people will be talking about it all day, and they go on Facebook, and they talk about it. What would you do, of course, is the question. What would you do if you found a bag of $127,000 cash? And what would you do if you were at a point in your life where you're trying to rebuild your life? I mean, you could rebuild your life really quick with $127,000. I know it'd solve all my problems. So what you have here, half up, no. What you have here is an individual who's very, very, very special. An individual with a heart, and an individual with a mind, and someone who is, and a soul and a spirit who's an extraordinary individual, and it's been such a pleasure to meet you. So we'll hear from Councilmember Capriolio, and then the two of you are more than welcome to share.
As usual, Clint's a tough act to follow. He forgets I'm the lawyer in the crowd. I'm the one that's supposed to be the talker and all that, but he's a great colleague and fun to work with. But Joe, it is so refreshing to be here today with you to celebrate this event. And you are an inspiration. You are a role model. You are what life's all about, my friend. And with these young athletes here that we're going to honor later, you, again, are a role model and inspiration to all of us because you did the right thing. And it would be difficult for all of us, I believe, but you did the right thing, and we appreciate it so, so much. So congratulations. And you want to read the proclamation?
Okay. Whereas Joe Cornell was nearing the end of his Salvation Army rehabilitation program, and whereas Joe Cornell on Tuesday, May 27th of this year, found a large amount of cash in a bag in the road, and whereas Joe was able to determine that the bag belonged to the Brink Security Company and had likely fallen from a truck that had passed by, and whereas Joe, faced with the decision of what to do with the bag containing $125,000, decided to alert his supervisor because, as he says, it was the right thing to do. Whereas Joe knew as soon as he thought of his soon-to-be-born grandchild that he must do the right thing with the money. And whereas Joe should be commended for his honesty and integrity in the face of great temptation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, Mayor Ashley Swearingen and Fresno City Council members, do hereby proclaim, we're very proud to proclaim, June 12th of this year to be Joe Cornell Day in the city of Fresno. We are proud to recognize you for your good deed and wish you all the best in your personal journey. We'll pose for Joe, we'll hear from you.
This is just overwhelming. Thank you all. Everywhere I go, somebody recognizes me, and it's just I never expected any of this. Congratulations to you guys. Right on. I don't know if you're going to the World Series or you did win it or whatever, but congratulations. I don't know. It's just overwhelming. I'm just trying to straighten out my life, and I knew it was the right thing to do. Salvation Army's helped me so much. I'm almost done with it. I'm almost ready to graduate. Trying to decide if I'm going to stay on or not. But whatever I do, I know I did the right thing. And my grandbaby was born last night at 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I haven't got to meet her yet, but hopefully today or tomorrow I'll get to go and meet her whenever I can get time to get over there. But so she's got something to look forward to, hopefully. Yeah. So what she thinks of me and my other 3 grandchildren that I have. So thank you.
Just wanted to say we're really proud of Joe. He's in our program. Joe came to us a very broken person. And since he's in our program, even before all this happened, he realizes what he needs to do to turn things around in his life. It hasn't been easy, but he's been making every effort to do that. He's very proud of his family. His family's very proud of him. And we're really working with him to have him continue to stay sober, keep his life in order, and be a part of us as an alumni when he leaves our program. And hopefully he'll stay a little longer, but if he does leave, he's going to continue on as an alumni. So we're really proud of him. He's kind of put our little center on the map down there, and it's just a great privilege to know Joe. He's been excellent in our program.
Thank you, K.O. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe.
Baseball?
Yep. I've got it.
You've got it.
Yeah.
All right, come on down.
Our next ceremonial presentation this morning is from Councilman Quintero's office, and that's a proclamation for the Fresno Pacific University's Sunbirds Men's Baseball Team Day. So, Councilman Quintero.
Well, good morning, everyone, and it is a pleasure and an honor for me to present to you the Fresno Pacific University Sunbird Men's World Series Championship Baseball Team. Come on down. Folks, Fresno Pacific University is located in southeast Fresno, and it's often referred to as the other university in Fresno, but it's right around the corner from my house, and I love it. And I can tell you there's been many an evening that I can hear you guys yelling when you're practicing because I live right there. And also I want to tell you that a few years ago, and I shared this story with you, I had the great opportunity to meet Coach Rupkich, and we were talking about baseball a little bit, and he said, you know, Sal, he said, we're only a couple years away from winning the whole thing. And I go, really? And he says, oh, yeah. He says, I feel it. He says we're a great university, and we're bringing in a lot of good, talented, a lot of great young men, and he says, I think with that spirit, we're going to be able to do it. So you were right, Coach. Congratulations. I'd like to introduce to you all and have him say a few words is Coach Hirschkorn, and tell us a little bit about the season.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the City Council and specifically Mr. Quintero for taking the time to honor us. So thank you so much. Our season, it was great, and it all starts with these guys, these players, just such a special group of players. Forgive us for not having more here. You know how the summertime hits. We have a lot of guys with jobs in summer baseball, and we even have a guy working out for the White Sox here today. So that's the reason we only have a handful of players. But anyways, everybody, we just came together as a group. You know, the ups and downs of a baseball season, but we got it together at the right time and made a run, and just so very proud of these guys. Also, too, I don't want this to escape anybody. We won the national championship, but also while we were there, we won the sportsmanship award, and that I'm just as proud of that as the championship, because that means we did it the right way.
And also I guess you've been on the job a few months, right? As the athletic director? Yeah, Leslie, would you say a few words as well, too?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for having us here today. It is wonderful to be recognized by the city for the great achievements of our baseball team. And I think for me, it's that we're living what we promised when these young men came, that not only are they having an amazing athletic experience, but they're having a transformational experience with their lives as Fresno Pacific serves this community, and we honor the fact that we remember every day that we're founded on Christ and that we must serve our students and serve the community. So the Sportsmanship Award is exciting, and I'm just so thankful for our coaching staff and our student athletes and the staff there as we stay committed every day to the move to NCAA Division II and to making sure our student athletes graduate and serve the community. So thank you so much.
And finally, Coach Rupkich, you called it. You called it a couple of years ago, and I know you've had quite a few years in the Fresno area of coaching, and you've seen a lot. You've been involved in a lot of with a lot of great teams, and I'd like you to say a few words because I mean you're one of our local legends.
Well, at least I'm still alive. Thanks. So thank you, Sal. And thank you for City Council for honoring us here with this special proclamation. Yes, I've been around a little bit. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but with this university, it's been really special. I've had an opportunity to spend some time in administration, had some time to spend with a number of great people, and and now in the athletic department with Coach Oscar Hirschkorn and Coach Matt Souza and Coach Kyle Barrett. They've spent a lot of time getting this club together, and it's not a one-day thing, a 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. This is years put together that the kids have worked hard, and the coaches have worked hard in recruiting and getting the right individual. This team was special. Any team that you have is special, but each one is special in a different way. And this one, of course, won a national championship. But the thing that I liked about this club was the fact of how they came together. You could see them come together at the latter part of the year in April and start in May and then getting into the regionals. And it wasn't playing for individuals anymore, it was playing for a team. And that was really special. And you don't see that very often, Sal. And this club was a great one to be a part of. Thank you.
Can you pass it down so everybody can introduce themselves and what they do?
I'm Kyle Barrett. I'm assistant coach, help with the pitchers.
My name is John Kortzoff, and I'm a junior catcher for the university, and I'll be graduating in May of next year. Thank you guys very much for having us, and thank you.
And what's your degree in?
I'll be receiving my degree in business administration with an emphasis in finance.
Thank you.
Matt Souza, I'm an assistant coach. Thank you very much for having us today.
Connor Wendorf, I'm a catcher, and thank you guys very much, too.
Ian Raber, junior right-handed pitcher, majors in communications, and thank you guys for having us today.
What's your major?
My major is business as well.
It's my honor to present to you a proclamation from the city of Fresno, and it's to Fresno Pacific Sunbirds Baseball. And it is with great distinction and pride that we join in honoring and congratulating Fresno Pacific Sunbirds Baseball for winning the NCAA 2014 World Championship. We admire all of the players and coaches for their hard work and dedication for building the team into a respectable and winning program. Please accept our heartfelt thank you on behalf of the city of Fresno for your great spirit, commitment, and participation. It's teams such as yours that truly make Fresno an all-American city. And on behalf of the city of Fresno, we, the Fresno City Council, do hereby proclaim today, Thursday, June 12th, 2014, to be Fresno Pacific Sunbirds Baseball Day in the city of Fresno. Congratulations. I have some certificates to pass out, and this goes to the players and the coaches, and I'm just going to read one. It's for Coach Rupkich. It says, congratulations, Fresno Pacific baseball coach Rupkich, in leading the Sunbirds to victory in the 2014 NCAA World Series Championship. And your hard work, dedication, and commitment have proven to be invaluable. You've demonstrated great levels of coaching, sportsmanship, athletic skills, and character. And on behalf of the city of Fresno, please accept our very best wishes and congratulations on this memorable season. Congratulations, Coach. And Coach Hirschkorn, I'm going to pass that out, give it to each of the coaches. And for the players, that's for the coaches. And pretty much it says it's the same wording for all of the players, and I want to present those to you. And just for the sake of time, I'll let you pass those out. And I know that you have quite a few of the team that isn't here today. And you said somebody's trying out for the White Sox today? Yes. All right. Congratulations. And really, thank you so very much. We truly appreciate you. And we look forward to another championship next year. And of course, thank you for not only demonstrating the great concept of what teamwork can accomplish, but also the dedication of the team and their commitment to excellence, as well as just giving them a good foundation for later on in life. So thank you all very much. You've won your World Series, and where's the ring?
Being designed.
Oh, it's being designed. Okay. Well, let's give them again a really big hand, and thank you so much for our national recognition to the city of Fresno. Thank you, gentlemen. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leslie. Keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Yes, sir. Those were all yours. They're all of them. Yeah. Good to see you. Thank you. You keep in touch. Yeah, these are for the ones that weren't going to show up.
Todd.
And these were
Todd, could you connect us? I got one. All right. Now we are on to the approval of minutes from June 5th, 2014. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the minutes on that day?
Actually, the minutes from June 5th are going to be laid over.
You're going to be what?
Laid over to the next meeting in order to give us time to include all of the budget information.
So we don't need to take this vote
No
today?
action for today.
Okay. Now we are on to council member reports or comments. Are there any council members who have anything to report or comment upon today? All right, then, Councilman Brand.
I want to say that last night, myself, Councilmember Zhang, and Capriolio, and I think that was all, right? And former Councilman Borges were at the Home of Hope event where they drew the winner for a $300,000 home. And sadly, it wasn't one of us that won the event, but it's a great cause. It raises millions of dollars for good causes here, including the Community Food Bank and Poveretto House and Renaissance Scholars and other good programs to help out Fresno. Thank you.
Right. Councilman Zhang. That was what you were going to say. Councilman Zhang dittos that. Councilman Baines.
I'd just like to adjourn today's meeting in the memory of Denise McPeters.
What was the name, Councilman?
Denise McPeters.
Okay. We will remember to do that. Thank you. All right, then. Now we're on to the approval of today's agenda. Madam Clerk, have there been any changes to today's agenda?
Yes, there are. We're going to start off with item 2A. It's going to be continued to 619 per staff. Item 2A, General Administration. The minutes are, of course, continued until 619 as well. And then there were two special meeting notices. One was a resolution amending the rules of procedure on speaker time limits at council meetings. However, that has also been removed from the agenda by staff. And then there's another special meeting notice, actions pertaining to city employees in Unit 5, represented by Fresno City Firefighters Association, Local 753, International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, non-management. So there'll be an action on that as well. And I think that's all of the changes that I have for now.
All right, thank you. So just a reminder to Carol, who turned in a card that wanted to comment on the speaking thing. That item has been removed from today's, so I don't know if you want to hang out or still want to comment on it. That you'll have that opportunity as well, but it's been removed. Right on. Thank you, Carol. All right, then. Do I have a motion to approve today's agenda, then?
So moved.
All right. All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. And now we're on to the adoption of today's consent calendar. Council members, are there any items that you would like to pull for discussion, or? Then I would like to pull item A for discussion. And now I'd like to ask if there are any members of the public that would like to address any of the items on today's consent calendar. Just please approach the microphone. All right, then. Do I have a motion to adopt today's consent calendar? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right, motion passes 6-0. So on to contested consent. The item that I just pulled was item A, and it's a city's response to a grand jury meeting a report on homelessness in the city of Fresno. And when I was reviewing this, I didn't think there was one item that was clear enough. So I wanted to insert one sentence that just made it a little bit clearer. And so all I want to do is amend this prepared review to include the sentence and I passed it out at council. And that sentence simply says, respondents, that is the city of Fresno, by the way, respondents are not encouraging the formation of a non-government organization, an NGO. And so that's the amendment I am proposing for this item.
Second.
Yes. Now, City Attorney, I believe I go out to the public for this as well.
You go out to the public, and then the motion would be to approve with your change?
Yes,
okay.
Approve with this change.
Right, and it does go to the public.
Okay. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this item A from the consent calendar? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Today's consent calendar is done. Madam Clerk, it was 2A that had been removed, correct? So we're going to be on to General Admin Item 2B. That's an award of construction contract with Avison Construction Company of Madera, California, in the amount of $833,000 for McKinley Avenue intersection improvements. And that's our Public Works Department.
Good morning, Council. Lal Gunwardina, Design Services Manager, Public Works Department. The item before you is to award a contract in the amount of $833,092 to Avison Construction Company for the intersection improvements at McKinley Marks and McKinley Hughes Avenue. Staff recommends that the Council award a contract in the amount of $833,092 to Avison Construction Company of Madera, California for the improvements at McKinley Marks and McKinley Hughes Avenue. Thank you.
All right. Are there any members of the public that would like to address this item? 2B? Seeing none. Councilman Baines, this is in your district.
Yes, thanks, Council President. I want to make a motion to approve and just say, listen, this has been a long time coming, and thanks, staff, for all the hard work on this. Certainly appreciate it.
We have a motion and a second. The screen is clear. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. General Admin Item 2C is award a requirements contract in the amount of $761,000 to Calgon Carbon Corporation and our Director of Public Works.
Assistant Director of Public Utilities, Martin Kareem.
Right.
Our Director of Public Works is right there.
I see that.
So appreciate, good morning, Council, City Manager, staff. So this is an item before you to approve a contract with Calgon. It's for exchange of the granular activated carbon that we use at our GAC sites, 31 wellhead treatment sites, and also at our surface water treatment facility. It's a standard contract that we have to reissue every so often so that we can change out that carbon as it's used up. You can see the item before you. It's for a contract for $761,395 to Calgon Carbon, and there's only two potential bidders on that particular item, and they're the ones that came in with the best price.
Martin? We're going to go out to the public. We're going to go out to the public first, and we might call you right back up. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this item? All right, then. Are there any council members? All right. Do I have it's a citywide project, so it's not in any one district, so I'll make a motion to approve. We have a motion and a second. Screen is clear. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Glad you're sitting right there, Martin, because I believe you're coming right back up for this one. General Admin Item 2D, actions pertaining to a T4 water tank and booster pump station, and that is downtown Fresno. And so, Martin, come up and tell us about this project.
Thank you again. This is a project that actually was identified in 2003, 2004. There was a study that was done regarding being able to meet fire pressure in downtown and be able to meet the peak and max day demands in downtown. The existing treatment capacity or the existing production capacity in terms of wells over time has diminished as the groundwater table has lowered. We've lost some of the wells. In the outlying areas outside of the core of downtown currently, in order to construct new wells, we're actually having to purchase homes on some of our sites and demolish the homes because there's just not the vacant parcels available. In terms of downtown, that's much more difficult because now instead of it being an older home or a single-family dwelling, you're talking about a 2 or 3 story or some kind of commercial building, and the costs are exorbitant. So one of the solutions that was identified, the most cost-effective solution that was identified, was the construction of a tank in the downtown. This tank will later be utilized as part of the surface water treatment distribution system, so it will store water. So it acts, in essence, as a large well with a larger capacity. Also is able to store water for fire capacity for downtown. The Department of Public Utilities Water Division actually started the project to move this project forward in 2005. So it's been 9 years in delivering this project, and I'm happy that we are finally getting ready to construct this. So what's before you now is a $10,100,000 contract, approximately, with the Mountain Cascade. They're a large civil constructor. They're home-based out of Sacramento, so they are a California-based corporation. This is a large enough project that there will be less respondents in terms of the number of bidders on it, and partially because of the bond size. This is a very reputable firm, and they've done other work for us, as well as they've done a lot of work. I've worked with them on several very large water projects before. Also, you can see in this item that there is a consultant services for construction for Quad Knopf. They were the design engineering firm. And the item D2 is their contract costs for reviewing shop drawings, submittals, and providing some on-site inspection to make sure that the construction is done in accordance with their plans and specifications. And then item D3 is 3 was Quad Knopf's contract. I'm sorry. I should have put my glasses on. 2 is a contract with SGI. SGI is a Pasadena-based construction management firm. They have a Fresno office housed in downtown. Kelly Riddle from SGI is here. They were the sole respondent for the construction management services, but we feel that they are a qualified consultant to do this work, and look forward to working with them as well. And so our request is that the council would approve this. We will begin construction in July and hope to have this project done in the next 6 to 9 months. Also in the audience is Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith is the project manager for CH2M Hill on this project. So he'll be providing the project management services. Our design engineer, the design engineer from our engineering section was Paul Maragoni, and Brock Buki, our supervising PE, is here also. So all 3 of them are here to answer questions if you have them in terms of the project design, project management, or construction management services. If there are no questions, I'll sit down and allow the public to comment.
Yes, perfect. And there will be a couple questions for sure. We have council members punched in. So are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this project? All right then. Councilman Baines, this is in your district. You're going to start us off this one.
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve.
You have a motion to approve, and then Councilman Zhang.
So, Bruce, is this the ever-ending project that we had downtown about the water pressure? We had to study even when it first came up during our administration, and is this the life cycle of that particular project?
This is a part of the city's master plan and part of the city manager.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's taken us this long to get where we are, and that study was done.
We did the study, then we had to do the environmental, then we had to do the design and engineering. So, Rome isn't built in a day.
Because that came back a couple of times, didn't it, on the project itself, Bruce? Just the design. There were a couple of I thought we had a couple of that did go out RFP, and for whatever reason, it just
We had a few things a few hiccups. We had an original site that was identified, and that site was then identified for some other project, and so then we relocated this site to this current site. So there's been a couple of changes. So the project was delayed by a couple of changes. The project was delayed by some transitions in the staff at the consulting firm that was doing the designing, and really it was pushed forward over the last 4 years to actually get a completed design based on the existing site and get it built. And the pipeline that's been constructed right now on the western side of town that extends from about Hughes and Belmont coming down to the downtown, that pipeline is a part of the same project. And that pipeline is shortly to be completed.
And so this, if I recall correctly, this just gives us the capacity to currently do what the density that we currently have. It's not necessarily allowing us to grow exponentially in terms of the downtown, because we were already showing that we lack the type of capacity with this. So am I correct in understanding that?
As Mr. Quiring pointed out, it's the pipeline and the tank, and it's being used to create basically a buffer or a supply of water when demand is at its highest, so that we can meet the needs of the downtown area.
So this is goes into what we've been talking about in and up, because even though we wanted to go in and up, we didn't have the water pressure to really provide the services for up, and this actually gives us the water level that we're looking for to meet our plan, our growth plan.
Our current demand as well as some future capacity.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it's coming in, and I hope that we are going to get through. Is it because Kelly actually left the city? Is that why we're able to accomplish this? I was just kind of curious.
No, but it's because Kelly will get it done.
Welcome back, Kelly. We miss you.
I'm done. All right. Councilman Brand.
I think my question was answered, that this is not, this is part of the overall, what's it called, the Metro Plan? Okay, and it's not included in the work that we, okay. I think Member Blong already answered that. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Screen is clear. Martin, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we had a fire downtown, right? I
had a couple.
Yeah, a couple, but we had one major one on, I can't remember where it was, but I remember coming to work, I saw dozens of,
G or H, it was right there, right down from Chuck Chansey. It was right when they were having a special day at Chuck Chansey Park. I was going to go to the ball game. All their computers, when that fire happened, all their computers went down as a part of that. And so they were having to check every ticket by hand. So I decided that it was not the best day to go to the ballpark because of that fiasco. But yes, that just showed the evidence of the, and that was just that was a one-story building, but it was a tall building.
And so something like that, does it just completely draw down our water resources downtown when we have a major problem like that?
If that happens at the same time, so that happened on a weekend, so it didn't happen during a peak hour. But if that had happened during a peak hour, you would have seen pressures drop substantially in the downtown area. And where you'll really see the problem is your multi-story buildings that already have pressure boosters or booster pumps to lift the water up in the multi-story buildings. Now those buildings, those pumps don't have the back pressure for them to actually be able to lift that water up. And so all of your multi-story buildings start to really experience some serious concerns. And if you had a second fire where they required the fire for their fire suppression system in that building, now you have a compound problem.
That's where I was going to get next. So if we have a large downtown section, if we ever had two fires at the same time, which we do, occasionally we do, we just haven't had two big ones at the same time, thank God. But this would alleviate some of that potential problem. Is that correct?
Correct, and I don't want to give any firebugs the wrong idea that we will do everything we can to meet our demands, and we will do everything we can to do that. But you are correct, Council President, that this is a significant and important need for the downtown area right now for health and safety. Sometimes people don't realize that they think of the fire department, they think of health and safety, but it's pretty tough for the fire department to fight a fire if they don't have water.
Right.
And so this is a significant health and safety issue for the downtown area, and the investment will not just, it's not just like, okay, we've invested today and tomorrow, what are we going to do with it? This investment is a part of the overall plan for the master plan for the city's development. So it's something that's necessary for today, but it's not a wasted investment. The investment is incorporated into the whole plan. So it's a short-term need, but it meets the long-term investment projections.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we have a motion from Councilman Baines and a second. The screen is clear. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now I'm going to take any unscheduled communication. If any member of the public would like to address any item on today's agenda, Marina, come forward and just take 3 minutes behind the microphone.
Good morning. How are you all today? Just saw you yesterday.
What?
Marina Magdaleno, business rep for Local 39, 4644 West Jacqueline, 93722. I want to commend you today for deciding to take to remove the time limits agenda item off the agenda. I was very bothered by that when I saw that, and I was bothered by it because of the fact that there was a very short time span in terms of the notification. People don't have the opportunity to always understand or have knowledge of what's going on at City Hall. And then the other part of it that really bothered me was the issue of trying to stop people from having the ability to speak freely to the council. There are many people that don't have your telephone numbers, don't go out to lunch with some of you, don't have that private access that many that don't have that access to you, and don't really know how to maneuver the way around City Hall and contact you, and like other issues that happened here. And so sometimes people that come before you, they really have a deep sense of community pride. They want to come to you before you to speak about issues that bother them. And there are some people, and I won't mention any names, that say a lot of nonsense sometimes, and it's probably tiring to you. But all of you here have been elected by the people of the city of Fresno. You are all servants of the people of Fresno. Your salaries, what you make, is not a lot of money, but it's paid for out of the taxpayers of the city of Fresno. And you have a duty and an obligation to serve the people of Fresno, no matter how contentious we all may be at times, or how rude we all may be at times, or how disrespectful. But you are all in the position of leadership, and we elected you into this office because we have faith in your ability to lead our city. And I think that it's incumbent upon you to have that same respect for the people that you serve, and to give the people that come before you that opportunity, and give them your undivided attention, and listen to what they have to say, no matter how silly or, not mattering to you, or, what you want to do as a leader. And so I commend you for that decision today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Marina, you made some great points. I just like to take this opportunity to remind everybody that could be viewing or on the record that they could visit fresno.gov. Most of us at least have our office number up on that page, and then also our email addresses are on that page. So hopefully people will hear this discussion and be able to access us.
And some people don't have computers and don't have internet. There's limitations to.
Yeah.
And I'm just bringing that up because that's the reality of a lot of stuff, guys.
Understand? Yep. Thank you. All right.
Morning.
Hi, Carol.
Let me see. What information do you need? I am Carol Lavelle.
An address.
1605 West Celeste, Fresno. And I came this morning to talk about the 2-minute time limit, but I'm going to postpone that until you actually have it on the agenda. And I agree completely with everything that Marina has just said. But it occurred to me in open comment that I also might talk to you about First Five. And I think that it is a mistake to agree to reduce the board size from 9 to 5. And that is the proposal that's currently being considered at the county, and the city is part of the partnership with First Five. I think it's a mistake. It's not good for the children, and it concentrates the management of the program, which is a multi-million-dollar program, in fewer hands. And I'm concerned about diversity, that would be represented by those few remaining board members. Those are my comments.
Carol, has that been voted upon already, or is that
no,
a proposal?
it's in pendency now. It's being considered.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilman Zhang has a comment or a question.
Yes.
You know, usually during these type of comments, we council, I say about 99% of the time, don't try not to respond. But I'm glad you brought that up, Carol. I mean, I've worked with First Five for such a long time, and the thought of taking the 9 to 5 is very disconcerting. You look at the diversity of that board, the work that it does, to see the current change that's already happened with the executive director leaving, and now you're taking, I think, additional voice from that board, and the opportunity for diversity and representation. It is very disconcerting, and to me, you know, I'm kind of surprised. I hear many different groups out there that represents our community that do a lot of great work, but I'm a little bit surprised that it has not gotten the traction that it should across the board, because we're talking about children throughout the county. You're talking about funding that goes not only on the west side, but come here to the city in so many different ways, and how it served our community. You know, whether the grand jury should look at this, to the health collaborative that are out there, always talking to the community health collaborative organizations, nonprofits that receive funding. It is taking a voice that I think is going to have a negative impact for our children, for us, and the city. You look at what we just partnered with them in terms of the downtown, and all of us are impacted in different ways. And so, you know, sometimes we get constituents to come here, well, you elected should do this and do this and do this. Well, I think this is one opportunity here that I'll take the challenge back to our constituency and to a representative that represents our kids, that I challenge them to really look at this issue and to see what they can do. Because sometimes it takes the public will to change the policymakers. And we can say whatever we want, but until we see those that say that they fight for our children, that do the work, and I think this is that critical issue when you're talking about fundings that come directly to our children and the work that they have done. And I haven't heard anything that First Five, in terms of the work that they've done, that has been criticized in a way that they're not doing their job. And to reduce the diversity on that board and give it to a certain tantamount, the authority to elected bodies. I'm always concerned. I'm an elected body here. to take that diversity of voice, and this is for our community. It is disconcerting. So I hope that those organizations out there, there's not much time, but I hope that they do what they're supposed to do and be an advocate for our kids and for our children and for our community. Thank you for bringing that up, Carol.
Thank you. And I think it's a fabulous program. It's been under fabulous management. And
Carol, just stay right there.
I'm sorry.
Councilman Baines also has a comment.
My apologies. This is my first time speaking to the city council,
we're glad to
so
have
I'm
you.
not.
No, I wanted to just join you, Carol, and my friend and colleague, Councilmember Zhang, in expressing the same sentiment. That is the proposal by the county is a very serious and major shift in public policy for our children, and it is rather shocking to me. You know, I certainly appreciate you all coming here to testify about the proposal to even change the time limit from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. I mean, which is fantastic. We should, you know, theoretically we should have more people here, but with such a major shift in public policy for our children, it just would seem as though the chambers and the county would be packed to voice the opposition to that to the supervisors. And I, Member Zhang, have not heard the public outrage about that. Haven't really even seen much coverage by the media. It just seems to be one of those things that is flying under the radar. But those of us that are advocates for our children, and especially early education, it's very shocking. It's a serious shift in public policy to narrow that board. And like I said, I just wanted to thank you for bringing that up. And we very rarely comment, but that's it's a pretty serious issue. And I just wanted to echo the sentiment of my colleague about that, and really hope that those advocacy groups that exist in this city that would pack these chambers for us would certainly make sure that they are expressing the same sentiment to our colleagues over in the board.
Thank you.
Councilman Brand.
Is the city of Fresno involved in any way in First Five as far as a board member impact at all?
My understanding is that it is within the county how they move. But our involvement, as you see, with the building down there, the partnerships that we work with them, the activities that we have. I mean, I don't know how much of a contract you're looking for.
But we have no direct role in the decisions that are made. And I would agree with you regarding some of the decisions that were made were not, I would agree with you. But I don't believe we have any influence over here other than indirectly. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Carol, you hit on a nerve. Usually we don't have council member comments, but we appreciate that. So thank you very much for coming forward today.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other members? All right, Dee.
Also, I wanted to follow up on what Carol and the council members have shared. Granted, it's a county decision, and as you said, Lee, we don't have any direct. However, often you guys will come out publicly and make a statement in support or in opposition of something, and I believe that would be a really good thing. We've talked a lot, especially during the whole Measure G deal, about representative government, and so often I think people don't realize what that means. And a lot of people don't feel that they have access. And I originally came this morning to speak on the item that was removed. I found it very disappointing this week that 2 items were posted at the very last minute. The one on the speaking was posted, Tuesday, I believe it was, and then the one on the fire, which you guys are going to still do this afternoon. Is that what I heard? That is still on the agenda for this afternoon?
Yeah. Yes, that one is.
That was posted with 24 hours notice. And a lot of people do not have access. They don't even know that they should go look at the city website to even see if a special meeting notice has been posted. And I find it very disappointing that stuff gets posted that it wasn't a true emergency. In fact, even on the fire contract, the city has known since last Friday that they had voted to turn down their contract. So if you were going to proceed with that, why didn't the city get that information out sooner? And then to have it scheduled within 24 hours at a time when a lot of citizens are not going to be able to take the time to show up. Any family members that want to speak to the issue aren't going to be able to take time off. And it's very disappointing. And Council President, you did mention when Marina spoke that people do have the option of calling council and sending emails. However, there's a big difference in sending emails. Number one, you don't know if they're even going to be read. You don't know if the phone calls are going to be answered or listened to. And the rest of the city does not get to see your email or hear your phone call. This is a public comment, and it's part of the public record, and other citizens get to hear it. So I think it's important. So I appreciate that you did pull the one item. I wish that you would pull the other item, because I don't think 24 hours notice was enough time for the citizens to be aware of that. And it's just very disappointing, but thank you. And again, on the first 5, I would encourage all of you to maybe publicly or at least privately contact the county and let them know that this is a bad thing. And especially if we have a truly representative government, why are we going from 9 to 5? So thank you.
Thanks, Dee. Are there any other members of the public? Yeah.
Good morning. First of all, I wanted to congratulate the three of you who were reelected, and best wishes for Mr. Zhang in November. I'm here about the item that was pulled, and I'll just kind of want to talk about the flip side of it. I think that, well, first of all, I would be completely in favor of limiting each speaker to 8 minutes per day if the speakers, if you're talking about on that side of the dais, and it's unclear in this memo, but if it's the public speaking, then I would be very against limiting people to 2 minutes or 8 minutes a day talking about things that are important to our city. I think that's going in the wrong direction. And, you know, we have the Building Neighborhood Capacity Program, I think, in 2 different districts right now. And I think, you know, going in the other direction, if we had real genuine neighborhood engagement and community engagement in all 7 districts, then maybe there wouldn't be, people wouldn't feel, you know, the need to come and speak person after person after person here during the city council meeting. But until then, you know, and even after then, I think we need to just encourage rather than discourage community engagement in the decision making that affects all of us. So thank you very much.
Any other members of the public like to address any item today? All right. I'll just comment because I think four members of the public talked about that item about the time frames for public speaking, and I actually was the one that put that on as council president, and I also was the one that withdrew it as council president because I think there's some other solutions that I found available, and so I don't think it'll be returning. So I just want to let you know that. All right, then, we are done with unscheduled communication, looks like, and now we are going to go into closed session. City Attorney, could you, and then after closed session, we have a 10:30 timed item, and then we have an afternoon portion of our day. So, City Attorney, could you talk about closed session, please?
Yes, in closed session, we have conference with labor negotiator concerning all of the listed bargaining units. I would not expect an announcement after the closed session.
Understand that the planning process and the federal grant requirements are such that the city, or the planning committee cannot actually do much as far as putting something concrete in until about this time next year. And we'd encourage the city, based upon this finding, to take action to contact Sacramento to ask if there's any way to find the funding for this project in this fiscal cycle instead of next year where it is currently allocated. This is a bold step. I don't know if it's even something the city council would consider, but as I mentioned last time, the number of accidents that have occurred at this intersection are such that I believe every measure should be taken. There are frequently traffic jams at the area. We've had multiple car accidents, accidents involving students and athletes walking to and from campus. There's housing along Bulldog Lane there, as well as the fraternity and sorority houses further down. Long story short, a lot of people are at risk every day when they travel to Fresno State. Fresno State is a commuter campus, and many people travel through this intersection, especially at rush hour, in very dangerous situations. Moses mentioned last time, unfortunately he's not able to join me this morning, but he did mention last time that we have the full support of the student body, as evidenced by the resolution that the Student Senate put forward to you last time, as well as support from the Faculty Senate and the administration in the form of the email from President Castro that was included last time. In summary, I just ask if you can take action to contact Sacramento to find out if there's any way to move forward the process and find the funding to put in this traffic light as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Councilman Capriolo, you had a comment or a question.
Hey, Daniel, I want to thank you for taking the time to spend a lot of time with me and on this issue. and Moses and the other students at Fresno State. That is in my district. I appreciate all the help and concern that you guys have illustrated, especially with all the support documentation. And I was at the Home of Hope event last night with Dr. Castro, and he was twisting my arm again to do what we can do for this. And I can assure you that this council is very concerned about safety issues, especially at the university, and we will do what we can to make this thing happen in the terms and conditions you guys would like. That doesn't mean Sacramento will cooperate, but we'll do our best, and I can assure you Scott Mosier and his team have worked very diligently on this to make those things happen. So again, thank you. Thank ASI, all those that have supported this, and please feel free to come anytime with any issue before this council. We're here to serve you and the citizens of Fresno. So thank you very much.
City clerk or city attorney, I think we've worked our way through the whole agenda separate from the afternoon items. Is that correct? I didn't miss anything?
That's correct.
Okay. So there's not much more we can accomplish right now. We can't move anything forward. Is that correct?
Yeah, timed items you can't take ahead of time. That's right. We have the 1:30 budget items and then the 2 o'clock special meeting notice item.
1:30 timed items.
The budget.
The budget. Yeah, final motions. And then, so we can't move that forward either, the budget items.
That's correct. It is timed.
All right, then. All right, then. We are going to recess until 1:30 and then tackle those timed items. Oh, yeah. All right. I think we're going to get started with our afternoon session. This part is, the first part's focused on budget, and so we are going to have time for budget motions. We've been hearing from our different departments throughout the week, and right now is a time for any more budget motions to be made by council members. And to remind everybody how this works, we can also make motions on Monday when we meet. And so there'll be a time then. We're supposed to start voting on voting on motions on Monday, and then take a final budget vote next Thursday. So we can introduce motions today, but it's not too late to introduce them on Monday as well.
Can we ask questions about it?
Absolutely. Now is a great time to ask any clarification questions or anything. Councilman Quintero.
I got a question for the city manager. Some of the motions that were made, to move money around from not from one area to another, but just to say I'd like to make a motion to provide additional monies for this service or get that fixed. I remember in the past the council member had to identify the money where it was coming from. So on these types of motions that we have now, even if they're passed, then you get to identify the
we would come back with what the impact would be and what the options are based on our recommendation. But yes, you're absolutely right. In the past, there were times in which the motion contained direction to
D Fund X and Fund Y.
Okay, so even if we pass something today, we may not like where you're going to get the money from, huh?
There's a possibility of that.
Always a possibility. Okay, I want a clarification on that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Zhang.
Thank you, Council President. City Manager, just a 2-point clarification. This is all within the department directions with 15. And it's not just with JSA. I don't want to be a misunderstanding that I'm just targeting JSA. So it's really all of our outreach deliverables with all of our contractors, okay? So I'd like that to be taking them out specifically, because I want to make sure that that's not a misunderstanding on that. And then on the 27, the ESG, what I think this is a clarification. What I asked for, if we can, if there is a number saved, not necessarily contact, but what we think that we've been able to help to save the cost of those going back to emergencies and the additional cost that we have to provide for health services, because we were able to get them off into that.
My understanding is if we're able to quantify, let's say with community hospitals,
right,
if they've seen a reduction in the amount of, or the number of emergencies specifically that are being generated from those who were otherwise, for a lack of a better term, are defined as being homeless.
Right.
And whether or not those costs have been reduced as emergencies.
Yeah, and I know it's tough, but I just want to be able to, because remember, we were part of those studies that when we did the 10-year homeless plan, is that we tracked, or at least the study tracked several homeless residents.
Yeah, I remember
that for a year or 2 years, and it was able to show that this particular person went to the hospital, the community, went to emergency 4 times, came back, went again, back again, and the cost of having this person doing that was X numbers of dollars. And that if we were to address that, or at least mitigate that and help them through, instead of 8 times of emergency a year, it was 4 times and actually got them out, that we would be able to save an X amount of number of dollars. So if there was something that we can kind of follow after this many years of work or attempt to try to address that from the budget cost analysis, and I don't know how that would look, but that's what that was what my question was.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Councilman Brand.
Yes, Council President. I looked over the summary of motions, and most of them have been generic or citywide related motions, but 2 of the motions, one by Member Zhang on the additional bike, is it bike officer or officers? Anybody know yet? Is that 1 or 2 positions? 2? Okay. And I'm assuming that's roughly a couple $100,000. And then one motion by Member Capriolio for I got it right that time, for 200 for a street repair. I'm just saying those are individual in-district requests. I just ask them to consider, at this point in time, as we come to the final next week, that we hopefully find a way to make it most of the stuff generic, because anybody could find a need for more police in their district or more street repairs and so on. It's not that I'm against them specifically, but I'm just trying to make a parity to it, because I'm sure, again, any of us would love to have bike patrols, horse patrols, car patrol, motorcycle patrol, even drunk patrol in our district. So that's all. And I just also got the memo on the costing. The new positions proposed in that memo, City Manager?
Yes, those are the new positions that are proposed in the general fund for 15.
Okay, and these, you made a note that some of the positions were 90% funded by a grant, right?
Correct.
Okay, so those are really...
Yeah, there's just a small percentage of 2 positions in DARM that are funded by the general fund. The rest is a grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all. Thank you.
Councilman Quintero.
Council, just so you know, there may be some of the motions that are going to be made that I may be abstaining on, And the reason for that is not that I'm against them, but I'm interested to see the final budget, where the money's going to be coming from. That was part of my question for, that was the reason for my question to the city manager. Just I want to see what's going to be affected before I approve it. So thank you, Mr. President.
Mm-hmm. Councilman Baines.
I just wanted to definitely take a moment and kind of respond to Member Brand's last comment. I seconded both of the motions regarding police presence, and I think, and I just want to kind of explain where I see the council members coming from. I don't think they're asking for, as I see it, the reason why I seconded it, I don't think they're asking for additional police services. I think what they're trying to do is slowly kind of recuperate from what was taken from those areas. So in the instance of Member Capriolio losing that station right there, the total police presence in a whole neighborhood, what he's just trying to do is get a very small semblance of that back with a report writing room. And I don't necessarily think it's any like additional resources, kind of recuperating. And the same thing with Member Zhang is, you know, the tower lost the whole police station, and because they lost the police station, they also lost the bike patrol. So it's not like the bike patrol was there, it was there before, and they're just kind of trying to restore that. So I want to be supportive of those two members because of that. I don't think they were asking for, I think they're just trying to slowly rebuild, and I think that they're very small incremental steps. So I just wanted to kind of clarify from my perspective what I saw them doing, not necessarily trying to take resources from someplace else, but just trying to slowly build back where they were.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification, but and I realize most of this is restoration of what was here 4 or 5 years ago. But again, using that example, you could take Sal's district or Clinton, a lot of them here, and just about everybody, maybe not my district, but a lot of them had the same kind of similar reductions in service, whether it be a substation or something like that. So again, I'm open to it. I just want to.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think if you notice a small thing, then you should make a motion to try to incrementally bring it back. If something that I would be supportive of that, because I think that the police department can reallocate those resources. And if it's something in your district, I would certainly be supportive. If you lost something and you're trying to slowly bring it back, I would be there with you too.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Quintero.
Oh, no, that was
Okay. Councilman Baines.
Man, Alderman, you're up. Do you have anything to say?
Did you? Oh, I haven't cleared this yet. Councilman Capriolio, are you done then, or did you have
I haven't started yet.
Oh, all right then. Now we're caught up. Fine.
Thank you for allowing me to start up. Yeah, I got the brevity award on that one.
Well deserved.
I just couldn't say it any better than my colleague Oliver Baines on that situation with those two items. It's not earth-shaking or changing the course of human events. It's just slightly restoring what was there in the past. And you'll probably hear me say it again, but to take, for instance, I know we have the major funding for streets, to take the road from below Shields, south of Shields, and run it all the way up past Ashland to Gettysburg, and then just stop it for 200 yards, and then start it again at Shaw. It just doesn't make sense. So I think they're a little bit unique. We all have a story, but I don't think, like I said, that these are anything new or different. It's just trying to get back a little bit of what's been taken away in the past. I don't mean taken away in a bad sense, just the economy. It was just these are just hard times, and so I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support. So thank you very much.
All right. Cool. City Manager, the screen is clear, but anybody can jump back up. That's what today is really all about. We can go back and forth. City Manager, what is the name of the street, the neighborhood street repair program that we initiated here 3 or 4 months ago with the mayor's office? Is it just street maintenance fund, or what? I want to make a motion. I want to get it correct.
A formal name or acronym, which is strangely not like us.
but it was basically targeting residential street, not the major arterials, because we've been able to use federal dollars. So I think the emphasis that we had the press conference with the mayor on out in near Clovis and Shields was just as reflected in this budget. There's $2 million committed to residential street repairs.
Okay, yeah, that $2 million program.
Right.
Neighborhood street improvements.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Right now, we have $2 million in this program that have been already allocated inside of Public Works budget. And I'm going to make a motion to make that $3 million, to add $1 million to street repair in the city of Fresno.
I'll second that.
All right. And just as I travel the city of Fresno, street repair, when I talk to the citizens in District 2 and even throughout the city, our streets are getting out of control in some areas, and I'd like to just keep a little bit more focus on streets like we did last year with street lights. And we were very effective when we focused on one thing and got it done. And I would like to add a little bit more focus to street repair, so I'm going to make that motion, and I have a second.
For clarification, the second would be to add that $1 million to street maintenance, not major street repairs that I
Neighborhood, right?
had brought up. It's for the neighborhoods.
Right, it's actually called the Neighborhood Street Improvements Program in the city.
All right. That's
Residential.
But again,
Yes,
I
right.
second that motion.
You're correct. Thanks for clarifying that.
Can I ask, is that money is your intent for that to be split amongst the council districts like the other?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, Councilman Baines. So this program is evenly divided between the 7 council districts, and this $1 million would also be evenly divided, continuing with that same strategy right there. So, all right, Councilman Capriolio, is that what you wanted to say? All right, are there any other motions today? All right, reminder, we can still bring motions on Monday, and then we can begin voting on motions on Monday. And with the goal of our final vote coming a week from today. And do I have to wait till 2 o'clock to take the next? To wait 4 more minutes. All right, nobody get up and go anywhere. All right.
Except us. Except me. I get to go. Look, you guys.
Hearings, I made a motion to add $70,000 to the city attorney's budget to hire a paralegal in contract compliance. And after discussions with the city manager and the city attorney, they believe they can fund that position with existing resources. So I withdraw that motion for the under the promise from the city attorney that they will hire that position.
Okay,
That's
just
correct.
for a point of clarification, we'll want to leave the position in, so for the PAR, but just the funding won't need to be there.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's withdrawn with the promise and assumption that you will hire within your existing resources.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Councilman Baines, you were punched up here, dude. Was that something we already talked about? Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, we are onto our 2 o'clock item, and I moved. I lost my agenda, but I happen to know that the 2 o'clock item was an item about the discussion of the contract with our fire department. And so we are going to begin the 2 o'clock item right now.
Point of order, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that we continue that item until June 26th.
All right. City Attorney, got a motion to continue, a second with Councilman Olivier. And then, so do we vote on that now, or do we discuss this and then vote, or?
You would vote on that now. The council could discuss the continuance now. Since it's a procedural motion, that is not subject to public comment, though.
Okay, so we can discuss the continuance now?
That's correct.
And then we're going to take a vote on that, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Councilman Baines, did you still want up, or was it just that continuance? Okay, then let me just ask you then. So we're going to continue this item till the 26th.
Yes, Council President, my motion is to continue this item until the 26th
And
of
not
June.
discuss the item today, just vote and continue it to a different day.
I'm asking for the vote on continuance, yes.
Okay. Any other council members, questions or comments? All right. So we have a motion and a second. Screen is clear. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. So guess what that means to all of our firefighters and everybody who came out today? This budget's really not on the agenda today. It's been moved for 2 weeks. So when we do discuss it, for sure, every single member will have their opportunity to talk. So we'll be doing that on the 26th, it looks like, instead of today. So thanks, everybody, for coming. I hope you don't feel like your time was wasted, but I wouldn't blame you if you did. City Attorney, is that it for today's agenda?
That's correct. Nothing else today.
And we already did unscheduled communication?
Right.
All right.
Nothing else.
So our council meeting is adjourned today in honor of Denise, what was her name? McPeters. Thank you, everyone.